All right, guys. So, I have a video about uh, new construction homes, and I made a video about it, how they're, you know, putting these weekend houses on the market, and they're selling them for uh, two all the way up to $500,000 extra than what they're supposed to sell it for. But here's the video. I put my input throughout the video, and we can go from there.
They thought they found good homes to raise their families.
We have 5 kids. We have one on the way.
But less than 4 years later, these Nephi houses belonging to 21 families have cracks in the foundations and walls.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Like yeah. I wish I could cuss a lot on here, okay?
This, if you can look out, it's already cracked at the corner.
One family has moved out.
It definitely felt very unsafe.
I'm Fox 13 investigative reporter Nate Carlisle. The problems here started long before the first foundations were poured.
It's emotional. I have a hard time going inside and going in my kids' rooms. It makes me really sad. Like this is our house, and we expected to be here for a while.
In November of 2022, Edgar and Chelsea Rios bought and moved into this brand new house in Nephi. Less than 3 years later, this happened.
Yeah, so we started getting water damage coming in through there because of the sinking that's happening.
So August of 2024 is when we started seeing the first of the cracking.
The slab of concrete was just being held by this tape that is literally getting worse every day.
The cracks around this exterior door are so wide you can see right into the house. And that's not all. Look what happened when we placed a basketball on the kitchen floor.
The layout of the whole house is beautiful. It's what we wanted.
Michael and Brandy Wayne bought a house a few doors down from the Rios family.
So since September, it has shrunk or went down 3.5 inches. So we got a bow in our wall that's of curd.
1 3/4 inches. They are seeing cracks in their house too.
1/4 inch, half-inch cracks that are occurring at the bottom of our foundation.
The Wayne and Rios families are among 21 homeowners in Nephi's Wind Ridge subdivision suing the builder, Writing Siding Construction, and Salisbury Homes, which the lawsuit alleges also participated in the development of the community and handled much of the sales.
I had seen pictures and videos, but seeing it in person is something else entirely.
Chase Wild is the homeowner's attorney.
The fraud that homeowners have alleged are that there were important facts about these lots and the way the soil was prepared or not prepared that were not disclosed.
The geotechnical report said the soil underneath the homes should be 6 to 10 inches, depending on how the soil is compacted. But the lawsuit alleges the builders poured 12 inches of loose fill soil, contributing to the settling. Plaintiffs also allege the soil work didn't receive proper inspections from the geotechnical firm. Writing and Salisbury did not install foundation drains called for in the geotechnical report, and basement cracks are causing dangerous levels of radon to enter the homes. Multiple times we called and emailed representatives of Writing Siding and Salisbury Homes. Okay, so I do have the right attorney. Eventually, a lawyer representing both companies responded to say they could not comment due to the pending lawsuit.
See, the thing about these companies, I heard this from actual contractors. They'll do shitty jobs. It's like finding a good mechanic, right? It's so many mechanics, but it's very few good mechanics. Same thing when it comes down to these developers, home builders. So these actually contractors told me that normally what they will do, the shitty companies, they'll get so many lawsuits and then they'll just simply shut the business down. Then they'll get a new LLC, a new name, and then they'll go ahead and continue the shitty ass work they've been doing. So these two companies, it's probably the same companies. Probably they're related. They're related. All they're gonna do, because they're getting so many lawsuits, they're not gonna pay it back. Not necessarily paying it back, but they won't pay to fix these homes. Long story short, these homes has to be trashed. They had to be bulldozed down and hire an actual professional who knows what he's doing, and then just build the neighborhood up to standards. So I mentioned weekend homes. What I mean by weekend homes, these are the same houses you're watching right now in this video that's falling apart. They're weekend homes because it only take them the weekend to build these homes. Exhibit A, they didn't do any of the standard work, compacting the ground, or of course they didn't get any inspectors, none of that. They just did straight shitty jobs. And of course, these same homes, one guy mentioned it was 700,000. There's no way in hell that house is worth 700,000. It's just straight criminal. That house right there, that's a hundred. It's a starter home. How does a starter home creeping up to $1 million? And I tell you guys all the time, you got several levels of homes. You got the one that's 100% siding. You got one that has uh, about 75% siding. You have one that has 25% siding, and then you have a 100% brick home. So this falls into the second level, where it's 75% siding. The front look all nice. They put some, stones or bricks, on certain parts of the house in the front. Then the rest of it's just siding. But as you can tell right now, the house is literally sinking. So it's a weekend house for a reason. But I'm gonna say this too, guys. When you get into the market, understand your market. Do your history on the actual companies, and what's the market, the home uh, rates for in the market. Don't just get in there and be like, oh, it's a new neighborhood, it's a new house, I'm gonna pay whatever. Don't do that. So the guy who went to this house, of course they didn't pay it. They're paying a mortgage because they don't have that kind of money. If they had that kind of money, they wouldn't be in that cheap ass neighborhood. So, but regardless, he $700,000 house, even though it's nowhere close to that. That's a starter home. At best, that thing is like 125, 125 at best. But whatever. That's why it's so important to know the market, study the market. So, and again, a lot of people, um, I guess they're not patient, or they still believing in that. Oh, we're running out of houses to build. There's so many houses for sale in my city alone. I know that's everywhere. So, the price they tell you guys the house is worth, do your research. Get with the local insurance companies, and they'll tell you how much that house is really worth. Don't let them people lie to you. At the end of the day, it's all a hustle.
The defendants have not yet filed answers to the suit.
And then down in our stairwell, there's a very large gap. It's been there for a while and it just continues to grow.
So, what could stop the settling?
Piering.
A lot of money.
A lot of money in piering. Dig under the home and put
See, look at the house. You see how it has, I don't know if you want to see my cursor or not. You see a little couple bricks right there, a couple bricks right there. And this ain't nothing but plaster, cheap shit. What you see right here? Siding, 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 siding. Even that pillar is siding. And that's yeah. There you go. And you gonna tell me that house right there is 700K? Bullshit.
piers.
This estimate the Weens received says that could cost more than $267,000.
The house not even worth 267,000. I told you guys the house is at best, man. That was about 150. So if he have a nice size backyard, and it look like a typical 3-2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. But that house not even worth 267,000. Let alone this dude talking about it's 700,000. Man, that's how much it gonna cost to just level the house. Remember, who's gonna repair the broken what is it, sheetrock, and the actual concrete that's actually cracked up inside the house? Who gonna fix all that? That's just them leveling the house. So you still have to go in there, fix the cracked concrete. You still got to fix the walls. You still got to, and of course, they say you got flooding and stuff like that. So you got to go in there. You got to replace the insulation. It's a lot of work. That's just to level the house. So you still have to do the repairs inside the house on top of the repairs under the house. So it's just one of them things, man. Like, I don't see how he went into that house for 700 with a smile. So he he played himself just on that alone. So um, yeah, I know in Los Angeles, typical house for a shotgun house is $1 million, damn near. But they say in Las Vegas, but Las Vegas charging them kind of prices, straight criminal. But hey, like I told you guys before, They're gonna charge you whatever you worth you willing to pay. They're gonna charge you that. So if you don't care about the price, they're gonna charge you whatever. If you go in there with a business mindset, because obviously he didn't do that, he wouldn't have went into that house. There ain't no way in hell. I don't care what you. I'm not paying no. Nah, I don't know. I'm just saying, guys, what it is. But if he knew what the hell he was doing, he wouldn't have went into that house. Now I know he said Las Vegas or whatever, but nah, man, you gotta do better than that.
More than half of what they paid for their home. Plus, they would still need to pay to fix the existing damage and any caused by lifting the house to install the piers.
We didn't feel safe. We have 5 kids. We have a baby on the way.
The Rios family have moved out of their house.
We worry about wires being pulled and starting a fire or gas.
And this is the thing too. The first family, they already left. They packed it up and got out of there. They still there. So it's like, I don't know if there's, I mean, obviously they're expecting the company to come and fix everything up, which won't happen. So that let me know right there that, I mean, that's obviously, I'm not saying everybody got to be balling out of control to get a house. You don't have to be rich to get a house. But if you really had it like that, you would have got out of there. Because look at the state that the house is in. It's literally falling apart. And they're living in there. They got the kids. Like any day now, the roof can fall in, and somebody get injured or worse. So obviously not very smart because they still there. Man, I tell you anyway.
Lines breaking.
So it's a $700,000 home that it's not even safe to live in anymore.
Correct.
Real estate records show Writing Siding has already bought back one of the homes in the neighborhood. Wild advised his clients not to discuss what they want to win in the lawsuit, but he said this.
They don't necessarily want to move. They don't want to sell their homes. They just want the homes repaired.
In Nephi,
This is our biggest investment. We have no other debt except for our house, and it's all tied up in this.
Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News,
If you're going to build a house, you better check out the geo reports.
Utah.
There you go. All their money is tied into their house. The company bought back one house, but keeping it real, they're not gonna do that for everybody. So if you're gonna do that, if they offer you a deal, go ahead and take it and get out of the house. Get your money back, right? Like you want all your money back. If anything, you want a little bit more for the inconvenience. But if they're gonna give you your money back 100%, then go on about your life. So I don't know how it's gonna go with the bank because obviously they're making payments. But that's another story. But still, if you're able to get out that situation, um, they if they're able to wipe the slate clean, then go ahead and do that. But like the woman said, all their money tied in. Well, let's be honest, all of his money is tied into the house because she ain't paying nothing. She just a typical housewife. So nothing against her, but this is what it is. So again, it's so many stories, especially when during the after the COVID, when they started pulling that scam on, oh, we running out of houses. It's so many people that didn't get inspectors whatsoever, and for you to make, you know, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on an investment, you think you spending 400, even $1,000 for them to come and check out the house would be a no-brainer. There's so many people that didn't do that, and a lot of them got screwed. They overpaid for the house. They didn't get this home inspector, and now a lot of them got stuck out because they dealt with the same, not to that level, but they dealt with the same consequences as them. It just wasn't on that level as far as the house literally about to cave in on them. But they dealt with a lot of stuff, and they all they had to do was just simply get a home inspector, $400 to $1,000, and that would been straight. But instead of them doing that, they quick to spend $500,000 on a $200,000 house, and they couldn't just get a home inspector. So I don't feel bad for none of them. It's just the price of being stupid. That's just what it is. But as you can see, that's not just a particular state or city. That's just the whole United States. So I think they were saying that about in other countries. I know China's being one of them, but China's just good for making stuff cheap as possible. So I watched videos about their freeways falling apart. But that's not just a particular city or state. Again, that's a United States problem. And of course, you have a lot of cricket companies that's that's doing this, and it's easy to blame um, the people that's moving into these homes. But at the end of the day, it's like you go into a restaurant and somebody's selling you rotten food, and then you blame the customer. So it's like at the end of the day, like you shouldn't be selling rotten food. Same thing with these home builders. You shouldn't be selling shitty houses, but that's typically how it is. And a lot of them don't get punished. A lot of them just they'll pay somebody off, and then they'll keep going on with the craziness. But anyway, guys, just watch this video, share it with somebody. If you're thinking about getting a house, even if you're not trying to get a house today or tomorrow, just watch the video. There's so many videos like this, people getting exposed, companies getting exposed, and don't really, I mean, understand that their names. It's so easy for them to shut down a business, start a new one, and then keep it going. Because that's all they're doing. They'll do the cheapest job they possibly can, cut as many corners as they can, then they get all the money they can, and then whenever it will catch up with them, they'll just shut the business down. That way they ain't got to worry about trying to pay nobody out. Start a new company with a new name, then they'll just keep it going. So, only way to fix this problem is to be we just have to be very very active when it comes down to these crappy companies. We have to have a system that's that forces these companies to do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, you can't blame the builders. Because of course, look at the house. The house is trash. So you already know they paying the builders trash as well. And it's gonna be some people like, oh, just don't take the jobs. You understand? A lot of them just need work. So if majority of these companies are trash, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? What you gonna do, right? So, and keep in mind, a lot of these guys they only specialize in one thing. They don't know how to build a house all by themselves. You got one guy he just know how to do plumbing. One guy know how to do electricity. Uh, one guy know how to do roof. One guy, you know what I mean? Like you don't really have too many of them guys who know how to just build a house all by themselves. This is what it is. I mean, they should get together, but it's a lot that goes into that. But anyway, I hope it works out for this company, for this couple, and at the end of the day, I hope the company right their wrongs. But at the end of the day, they need to be shut down. Like whoever the owner is, they need to get a hold of them, just shut them down. Like take their credentials or whatever they have to have in order to run these businesses. They need to completely get all the information, just ban them. That's the best way to do it. Because if the government did that, if the city, the state did that, you wouldn't have these problems because the risk um, reward ratio, it wouldn't be worth it. That's like you being a drug dealer, like, oh, I'm moving drugs, and if I get caught, I'll do like 3 years in jail. You think they're gonna stop selling drugs? No, they're gonna sell us. They're gonna be selling drugs like crazy because the risk reward factor is great. It's like, oh, I'll do 3 years in jail for moving, 5 tons of drugs. So, but yeah, when it come down to something like this, that's the best way to do it. It's like if a doctor is caught doing some crazy stuff, they'll take his credentials and he'll do some kind of jail time or whatever like that. Same thing with these builders. You need to get all the information and completely just ban them. Say, hey, we shutting you down forever. You can no longer do this kind of work and just ban them. That's the best way to do it. Because if they dealing with that kind of consequence, these houses won't be falling apart like that. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you got any questions, any concerns, leave them down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And no matter what, I'll take your peace, your pockets, and your purpose.